Hey travelers, fasten your seatbelts because summer 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most unexpected seasons in airline travel we've seen in years. While many of us thought the post-pandemic travel chaos was finally behind us, airlines are introducing surprise rule changes that are catching even the most seasoned flyers off guard. Some of these changes could cost you money, some could delay your trip, and some might leave you stranded altogether. So today, I'm breaking down the 10 most surprising airline rule changes for summer 2025 so you can stay one step ahead. The last-minute carry-on ban that no one saw coming. Let's start with one of the most aggravating policies quietly spreading through several major airlines. If you check in late, even just 40 minutes before your flight, you may now be prohibited from bringing your carry-on luggage on board. I'm not talking about oversized bags here. I mean your perfectly legal, TSA-approved, standard carry-on. Airlines like American, United, JetBlue, and even some low-cost carriers are now automatically gate-checking carry-ons for late check-ins. I first heard about this from travelers venting in Facebook groups, assuming it was some fluke or overzealous gate agent. But after testing it myself on a recent United domestic flight, it's absolutely real. Their system flagged my boarding pass with a no carry-on code simply because I checked in late at the airport kiosk. The stated reason? To improve on-time departures and minimize boarding delays. The real reason? Overbooked overhead bins, especially on these jam-packed summer flights. Key takeaway: always check in online early, preferably 24 hours before departure. If you gamble with last-minute airport check-in, your carry-on may not make it on board with you. Hidden departure-based fuel surcharges are back next. Let's talk about your ticket price, because something sneaky is happening behind the scenes. Airlines have reintroduced city-based fuel surcharges on many routes, but instead of adding it to your base fare, they're quietly sliding it into the taxes and fees section. Here's what that looks like. Flying out of Los Angeles, plus $32. Departing from Dallas, plus $19. Starting in Miami, plus $42. Even short-haul domestic flights are being hit, and it gets worse. These surcharges can vary day to day based on airport congestion, jet fuel spot prices, and even weather forecasts. What's frustrating is that online booking engines like Google Flights or Kayak often don't display these surcharges separately, so travelers may assume prices have simply gone up across the board. Pro tip: always click into the full price breakdown before finalizing your ticket purchase to spot hidden fees. Dynamic seat pricing, changing by the hour. Remember when you could select your seat during booking, lock it in, and not worry about it again? Well, welcome to Dynamic Seat Pricing 2.0, where the cost of your seat can now change even after you've purchased your ticket. Airlines like Delta, American, and Alaska have quietly implemented pricing algorithms that adjust seat prices multiple times per day, increase prices as the flight fills up, charge you more if you switch seats later. So let's say you booked an aisle seat for $19 when you first purchased your ticket. 2 weeks later, you decide to move closer to the front. Now that aisle seat might cost $34. And for last-minute travelers, expect to see prices double for exit rows or front cabin seats within 24 hours of departure. This AI-driven pricing strategy allows airlines to squeeze every possible dollar from passengers who prefer certain seat types. Pro tip: select your seat as early as possible and avoid making changes if you can help it. New FAA alcohol rules are stricter than ever. The FAA has issued new guidelines this summer around personal alcohol consumption on board, and several airlines are already enforcing them aggressively. Passengers may no longer open or pour any alcohol they've brought on board, even if purchased duty-free after security. Some airlines are authorizing crew members to confiscate sealed bottles if they suspect a passenger intends to self-serve. Multiple incidents of mid-flight intoxication this spring have triggered these policy shifts. Only consume alcohol served directly by flight attendants. Anything else is becoming a violation that could get you fined, reported to the FAA, or even denied boarding on return flights. Sudden regional flight cancellations wreaking havoc. If you're traveling between smaller U.S. cities this summer, pay attention. Airlines like Delta Connection, American Eagle, United Express, and regional partners are aggressively canceling dozens of domestic routes. Why? Ongoing pilot shortages, air traffic controller staffing issues, fuel price volatility, lower profit margins on short routes. Routes like Pittsburgh to Charleston, Boise to Sacramento, Kansas City to Des Moines, Salt Lake City to Spokane have already been pulled for the summer schedule. The problem? Many travelers booked flights months ago on these routes, only to be rebooked on inconvenient, multi-connection itineraries or offered refunds with no alternative. Stricter carry-on size enforcement at the gate. This one's frustrating even for frequent travelers. Several airlines are now testing laser-guided bag sizers at boarding gates that automatically scan your carry-on dimensions. If your bag exceeds limits, even by 1 inch, you're forced to gate check it and pay an extra fee, often $50 or more. Boarding agents have no override authority once the scanner flags your bag. Even premium status travelers aren't exempt. The airlines claim this ensures fairness and smoother boarding. But many travelers suspect it's just another revenue-generating tactic. Facial recognition boarding. Rapidly expanding. Summer 2025 is seeing a huge rollout of biometric boarding technology. Airports like Atlanta, ATL, Dallas, Fort Worth, DFW, Seattle, Miami, MIA, Boston, Logan, now default to facial scans instead of boarding pass scans. The process is fast. Boarding groups move quickly, but many passengers feel blindsided by how automatic it's become. While opt-out options technically exist, they're often buried in fine print or require advanced paperwork. Privacy advocates warn that travelers' facial data may be stored far longer than most realize, raising serious data privacy concerns. Pro tip: if you're uncomfortable with facial scans, request a manual boarding pass scan before approaching the gate scanner. Aggressive penalties for skip lagging. The crackdown is real. If you've ever considered using the skip lagging trick to save money, be extremely careful this summer. Airlines are stepping up enforcement like never before. Frequent flyer accounts have been terminated. Multiple passengers report having future bookings canceled after being flagged for suspected skip lagging. Lawsuits have been filed against websites promoting skip lagging services. With sophisticated booking algorithms now monitoring travel patterns, many travelers are getting caught even after just one offense. Airlines argue that skip lagging violates their terms of service, even though many passengers view it as fair game. Power bank restrictions. Updated mid-flight rules. Portable chargers, or power banks, are now under much tighter restrictions following several onboard fire incidents earlier this year. Southwest Airlines, followed by Delta and American, now prohibit storing power banks in overhead bins, using power banks while stowed away during flight, carrying uncertified power banks above certain watt-hour ratings. All power banks must be kept within reach, ideally in your personal item under the seat in front of you. Stick to well-known brands like Anchor, Belkin, or Apple certified options to avoid issues during security screenings. International entry requirements changing mid-trip. Several countries are introducing new pre-approval systems for visiting tourists. United Kingdom, as of January 8, 2025, all U.S. and Canadian citizens must obtain a valid ETA electronic travel authorization before flying to the U.K. Cost: £16, around $18 US. Valid for 2 years. Processing time: usually 1 to 3 days. Airlines may deny boarding if you haven't secured your ETA prior to check-in. European Union. The EU's long-delayed ETIAS system won't go into effect until 2026, but it's coming, so be ready for mandatory pre-trip approvals when visiting Europe starting next year. Quick-fire updates every traveler should know. TSA PreCheck delays, massive backlogs, and renewals. Apply early. Canadian airport fees. New green fees added to international departures. Checked bag fees. Southwest officially ends bags fly free for most non-status passengers. JFK and Newark slot swaps. United and JetBlue partnering to expand cross-airline loyalty perks. So there you have it, 10 surprise airline rule changes that could seriously impact your summer 2025 travel plans. Some are frustrating, some are just plain sneaky, and a few might actually help you if you know how to navigate them. Let me know in the comments which of these shocked you the most. Have you personally encountered any of these changes already? Share your story below.